Pretty Nerdz. 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 Pretty Nerdz.
Hi guys, welcome back to Pretty Nerdz podcast. This is your girl Falan DeAnn.
And this is your girl Nay.
Alrighty, how was your holiday?
Long. Extra long. Oh, girl. I did all my little cooking. Did some baking this year. Well, I always bake every year, but I downsized. We downsized a lot this year. We tried to cut it down so we didn't have too many leftovers. So I think I did a pretty good job. We only have like a little bit of leftovers left right now, and ain't nobody eating it because we ate leftovers, I think, for a day, maybe, a day and a half, and everything else is going in the trash because ain't nobody finna eat no more. Like, we over it. Like, we went and ordered food today because we're just over it.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
It was good. I cooked at home. Cooked Jamaican dishes, of course. But it was good. It was cool actually staying at home. I thought I was like, oh, our family's not coming in from out of town. But it was cool. Like, yeah.
Well, that's good. Y'all had your first little family Thanksgiving.
I know, and I did all the cooking myself. I was like, go me.
Yay. Congrats. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and jump into the week's hot topics. Since we are fresh off of fight night, yesterday there was a fight between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., as well as YouTuber Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Basically, I didn't watch it because one, I'm not really that into boxing like that, but two, I really don't be wanting to see celebrities box. And I love Mike Tyson and all of that. And even Roy Jones in his prime was dope. But, I mean, they both passed their prime. So it wasn't something that I wanted to see because I didn't feel like it was going to be anything super exciting. And from all intensive purposes, they said it just looked like two guys who were past their prime fighting, and of course it ended in a draw.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, you didn't even get to see nobody, aside from in the Nate Robinson and Jake Paul, you didn't get to see nobody get knocked out. But Nate did get knocked out in the second round by Jake Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
sad sight, my good guy. Sad sight.
Yeah.
That's all we can say. I mean, I don't. You have any comments on it? I don't.
Yeah, no. I know, like, Floyd made this whole post like we shouldn't be laughing at. Sir, no.
Yes, we are laughing.
That fallout was epic. That knockout was epic. I don't care. It was funny.
Absolutely, it was absolutely funny. I have seen the only thing I guess to come from that is the dude Tyler. Is it Tyler Lepley from P Valley says he wants to fight Jake Paul next. And I just feel like he's too pretty. Don't do that.
I know, but like, I mean, I might watch that one, but at the same time, be like, hey, don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause if he get knocked out, then I'ma feel away. Like with Nate, I really felt like, I mean, Nate, you like 5'2", and like this wasn't it. But with you, like, I'ma feel away. So just don't do it. Don't do this for us. Like, sit this one out, sir.
He is really attractive.
Oh, ain't he though? And I think, and then not only that, I just think that it's like, again, I'm telling you, it's the Memphis effect, because I just be like, because he put on the little accent for the show, you just be like, take me back for a minute. Even though we all know Memphis niggas ain't about nothing, but still.
Nothing at all. At all.
Oh, but still. You just had a moments of flashback.
Nothing at all.
I guess what else kind of is popping on the internet? Oh, your girl, Summer Walker, she finally confirmed that she was pregnant after all the speculation, and then promptly had a meltdown on the internet. Basically confirming what we all had already knew, what everybody had been trying to tell her, that London on the Track ain't shit. He don't take care of his babies, and well, she signed up for the clown show. I don't know what else to say. Other than if I was her, I would have held my L in private personally. But
True. Listen, I hate when celebrities be like, "No, I'm not pregnant," and then 2 weeks later they make an announcement. Like, I know you want to do it yourself, but don't say that you ain't pregnant. Just don't say nothing, and then pop up and make your announcement. Like, this just so fucking weird to me. Be like, "No, I'm not pregnant," but you pregnant. It's obvious, nigga. You pregnant. And then, like with her, I'm like, you did all that fucking talking, and you knew. The crazy thing about it is, you knew he was a shitty dad, and you still signed up for that. Like, it ain't even like he tricked you. You knew he was a shitty dad because you admitted it on the internet, and you still did that shit though. What you thought your vagina put that much pressure on him that he was gonna be something that he not?
child. All I'm saying, and then had the audacity to stick her nose in the Liza Rain business, defending fuckboy ass Future. Ooh, child.
And you going through the same thing.
Ooh. Hate it for her.
And the baby ain't even here yet.
Listen, that's what I said. She ain't even a couple months in, and she already going through it. I said, Lord, this nigga. But you know what? She signed up for that clown show. She can't even. Yep. It is what it is. I bet you they be back together in like 2 weeks though.
Yeah, I don't even give it 2 weeks. I give it next week. They're gonna be posting another selfie in the mirror.
Yeah, but I don't anticipate them lasting past her having a baby because that's just not his track record.
Yeah. Like he like Tristan. He just gonna leave your ass. Third trimester.
Basically. Hate to see it though.
Yeah, but feed that baby grass while you was talking about all the mothers and what they feed their children and go on and take the L, sweetheart.
Basically. Moving on swiftly from that. Also making this rounds on the internet, Meg the Stallion, her debut album, Good News, dropped last week. And it didn't have really all that great reviews. A lot of people were saying that they felt like she should have either made like Tina Snow or one of those other records should have been her actual debut because they didn't feel like Good News was that great. Pushing aside to that, it is slated to debut at number 2 with about, I think they said 100 to 102K sold. Some are calling it a flop. I mean, I don't know if you can call selling 100K albums a flop, especially in this time, in this era. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not gonna call it a flop. Like, I don't know what a flop would be. I don't know what people call a flop. I'm like the day of selling major units, especially when it's like, I don't know. I just feel like that's not a flop. That's good. And then debuting number 2, that's not bad at all. I don't know. I just find it weird because I'm like, especially when you can go to places like iTunes and just download the songs that you want. You don't have to do the whole app. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this gonna sound weird because she ain't been in the game that long. But I feel like with her success and her taking off so fast, she becoming like another Nicki. Like that was riding with you when you was kind of like not so much as down, but you weren't as popular or hidden. And then like now that she's like popular and coming up and she got major deals, not just like music, but even like makeup and stuff like that. It's like, oh, she ain't even that great.
Honestly, for me, I feel like, and a lot of people were saying that the whole shooting thing, she used that for clout and kind of to sell albums and everything like that. But I feel like it hurt her more than, you know what I'm saying? It helped gain anything. Because I feel like more people now, I've seen more people come out with, oh, I don't like her ever since then, since she kind of went with the whole, talked about him shooting her and all that stuff like that, then before that. Because prior to that, it was oh, Meg, we love Meg, Meg this, Meg that. But after that whole situation, I feel like that hurt her career way more than it helped. I mean, for all the people who were saying she was doing it for clout and this, that, and the other, what clout did it give her? Because I feel like it hurt her career more than it helped, if anything.
And especially like I seen this tweet that of course it was a man that wrote it and was like, she only get certain stuff or from the GQ Rapper of the Year was that it was basically a sympathy thing. And I was like, I just like you said, like that hurt her more than it helped her because a lot of people are saying, oh, she voted this or she got this because people feel bad for her, which I'm like, I don't know. Even listening to Tina Snow, it's always been a pick and choose for me for her. But overall, I think she has appeal. But like you said, that hurt her from even the standpoint of people just not liking her because she spoke out against a quote unquote black man.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Staying in that realm, her ex-friend, Kelsey, decided to, instead of just doing the interview like a regular person, she decided to drop a whole diss track, to which she swiftly, I'm sorry, she first did like a quick little IG live, and then she dropped the diss track. And during the whole spiel of it all, she claims that she's not trying to be a rapper, that it's a one-time thing. But then she swiftly went to re-release the kind of, I guess, re-up the record, take out some parts, like it contained like a Tory Lanez sample and all that. She took all of that out just so that she can put it up on all of the streaming sites and things like that to obviously monetize it and make money off of it. So I guess my question to you is, one, do you like her way of going about it as far as like the diss track and all of that stuff like that? Would you prefer her just to speak out? And then secondly, do you feel like at this point she kind of doing it a little bit for clout? I mean, trying to, make money off of the situation? What are your thoughts?
I definitely think it's clout. Definitely think it's clout chasing. And I don't like that. Yeah, Megan is a rapper, but I'm like, if she didn't flat out say your name, then why you even responded to her when you said you was gonna get this interview and tell your side? And it kind of makes you look to me like real defensive for something that you said you ain't had nothing to do with in that capacity. Like what's really happening? And like you said, for you to take the sample off and then you want to put it on our platforms, like why you making money off something that you're not trying to be a rapper? And I ain't get that with her. And I'm like, I didn't even like it. It was trash. So I'm like, you shouldn't be trying to sell it anyway. But yeah, I definitely think I'm like at this point, you made your clout chasing and then you come out with this. If you were gonna make a diss track, you should have just been did it. I mean, why you wait until after she dropped and then no matter how people feel about it, I'm like, the body track is gaining major traction. She got a challenge off of it. And it's catchy. No matter how you feel about the song, it's catchy as fuck. So
And then my thing is that I just don't understand why she went like the diss track record. Like, if you're not trying to be a rapper, that's not your lane. Why go that? Why you just didn't do sit? I mean, all the people who was clamoring for her to do it, she could have went and sat at the Breakfast Club for all that, and just did a quick little interview. I mean, she could have called into Joe Buttons. I mean, any of those little people that she wanted to, who was clamoring to get an interview with her. Why she just didn't go that route and do that? Or hell, do what you did and sit on IG Live. Not just so you can tell people that you're gonna drop a diss track, but sit on IG Live and actually say something. Because at this point, we didn't had Meg sit down. Meg actually said, regardless of how people feel about how she went about it, she actually came out and said the man shot her. Tory did a roundabout whole album, and I still, based on his album, other than the fact that he innocent, we still don't know who the fuck shot her. I mean, he proclaims his innocence, but will not reveal who the shooter was then. And then Kelsey does all this roundabout talk still, and the only thing that I got from her whole situation is that she was messing with Tori, and she feels like Meg was messing with Tori. She found out Meg was messing with Tori too, and because of that, and her not being a good friend, that's why you didn't speak up. Listen, I'm confused. So she didn't come out and say Tori shot Meg, but basically she, in her roundabout way, was saying, well, if I wouldn't have found out he was sleeping with you as well, then I would have came up and spoke out sooner. Like, I'm confused, sis. At this point, I'm just sick of all y'all asses.
You'd have get fed up like everybody else on Shade Room comments. Like, I'm just over the whole situation. But the crazy thing about it is, like, from the album, I didn't listen to Tory Lanez album. Not interested at all, even giving him the views or streams or whatever. He never, from the clips that people were putting out and that I did listen to on a different like social media platforms, he never admitted that he was with Kelsey, but he did admit to having some type of relationship with Meg. So it's like, who boyfriend was?
Shit, that's what I'm trying to figure out too. And listen, and I'm not one to judge, but that nigga is 5'3". Y'all are two beautiful girls. This really what we doing this over?
And he unattractive as fuck. Be like, first of all, y'all can literally hula hoop with this little nigga. What?
Ain't got no hairline to say. Listen, I can't fathom it. I can't fathom it, y'all. Like, I don't make that shit make sense, man. Anywho, but I guess again, we'll just have to wait and see in court to see if it actually come out. Shit, at this point, I wouldn't even expect it to come out in court. That's how this story seems to be playing out. Like, we may never know. It may end up like the Terrence J situation, where yeah, exactly. Even though high key, I know who was in the car, but I got the tea on that. But
who you think was in the car?
You don't know who was in the car? Okay, so the tea on that for all of y'all who don't know is that y'all know the little white girl that everybody always be talking about. Shit, her name is blanking me, but y'all know exactly the one who is accused of being LeBron James' mistress. She high key racist. Fuck. Why is her name blanking right now?
Bro, and I got her face in my head.
It started with a J. Fuck.
I know you're talking about.
It started with a J though. Y'all, I promise y'all know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about too. And her name started with a J. She got like really short hair. She a white girl. Fuck.
And like somebody.
No. Fuck. What is her name? Is it Jessie?
It is. It's no.
Jess. Hold on. It's gonna bother the fuck out of me.
I know, right?
And watch it come back to me. Look, and Joe Budden's did a whole episode clowning that girl.
And I know they was talking about some damn jeans. Oh,
fuck, man. Listen, her name is escaping me right now, but she is the one who was apparently in the car with Terrence J. And that's why the girl Golden Barbie broke up with him, because he was creeping with her.
And she like, because I know it was like, people are like, oh, she got a body, but I'm like, that face look. It's done.
Is a mess. That's exactly. See, that's how I know you know who I'm talking about too, because that face, baby.
That face is through. And I'm like, even when it comes down to body, I'm like, I mean,
it ain't nothing
right. It make you think about how people boosted up J-Lo. It's like, I mean, she got abs, but when you talk about like booty and stuff, you're like, I just don't see what she hitting top 10 for y'all to be going crazy over her like this. Damn, what's the girl, man?
Oof. I can't. Why can I not remember that girl? Jess. It's not Jessie, Justine. It's with a. Ooh, I know it should start with a J though, but her name is just escaping the fuck out of me right now. It'll probably come to me after we finish with the show. Right. Either way it goes, I'm gonna look it up. And we will have the name for y'all next week. But yes, that is who was in the car. For all y'all who don't know, that was who was in the car with Terrence J. The night that he got in that little accident.
Ugh.
Exactly. Ain't that pathetic? Like, cause she is. I just don't understand it. With these dudes, cause she is not pretty to me at all.
She really is not like. Out of everybody you chose, you went to her, and then the fact that she a slick racist, just like do better.
And it hurts my heart to know that they say that she's LeBron James' mistress, and I just feel like every time I hear that, I think to myself, Savannah, all you do is have to say the word, sis. All you have to do is say the word, and we ride. That's all I'm gonna say, sis. Cause disgusting. But anywho, I guess we can. Since we talked about Meg and Kelsey and all that whole situation, let's talk Thugger, Young Thug and Andre 3000.
Yeah, things people say when they on drugs, because he had to be on drugs.
Absolutely.
He did an interview with T.I., and it was, damn it, and I watched the clip, but it was brought up about Andre 3000. And Young Thug admitted that I think he lied, but anyway, admitted that he doesn't pay attention to Andre 3000, but he paid attention to Elton John and all of this, just basically bullshit. T.I. suggested that he call up Andre 3000 and he does a collaboration with him, which I feel like Andre 3000 should be like, fuck no, but whatever.
Right.
But I think I don't know, you can go. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, so the first and foremost, I'm with you on the whole thing. It's like I just wonder if like Thug is just like maybe on something or whatever like that, because Andre 3000 has always been complimentary of Young Thug, of a lot of the younger artists. Andre really don't bother nobody at all. So I just can't understand where the disrespect would come from. Then secondly, I'm just confused on how the fuck is you from Atlanta and saying that you don't know a verse from Andre 3000? Like, that's like saying that you ain't never listened to Outkast, and like there's no fucking way that you from Atlanta and ain't never listened to no fucking Outkast. Like, the fuck? I'm confused on that. So you had to have known of Andre 3000. You have to know an Andre 3000 verse from somewhere. Like, I'm lost. So, but yeah, I don't understand. I'm confused.
But I'm like, you from the South, like, and I like, you never listen to Andre 3000. Like, I agree with everything Outkast, but it's like, so what were you doing when International Player Anthem came on? I don't
listen. Like, girl, that was one of my first thoughts. I was like, even if you try to play the card like you too young to have listened to Outkast, which is beyond the fuck out of me. Even if you try to play the card that you the only person in Atlanta that ain't never heard an Outkast record, I know good and damn well, living in the South, that you been to somebody club at some time and heard International Player. I know for facts. Okay, that shit still ring off in the club.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I was like, and it was just he was like with Elton John. I think he was like he said Elton John kiss ass and Andre 3000 don't. Be like, why the fuck would he be like? He literally paved the way for you, for your line of uniqueness. Like, when you really think, not saying that he's like super unique, but just being eclectic the way that you are, he literally paved the way for it.
Right.
That
is absolutely correct.
Be like, just the fact that dudes are still willing to listen to you, and you are dressed or you got nail polish on. And not saying that he went that far, but when you think about our generation, shit, a press, seeing dudes having their hair pressed and he not a pimp from the 70s, it was like a big deal. Right. So I'm like, how you say, like, just you from Atlanta. Like, it really pisses me off to be like, bro, don't downplay him like that and have the internet have to show appreciation to him. Like, he's, unproblematic. He's staying in his own lane. He literally paved the way for you, nigga. You sitting up here talking about something. Basically, you don't know who he is.
Right.
You don't pay attention to him. Like, the fuck?
Telling you, this generation different, man. They different. They will disrespect anybody. And I just can't. It's beyond the fuck out of me. Okay.
And it's like, it's literally like they act like they paved their own way. Like, oh, I made this. And be like, no matter how much you think you're different, somebody before you made a way for you to even be that different and be accepted.
Right.
Like, yeah, you different, but I'm like, somebody literally paved the way for you to even have that privilege to be like, okay, I'm still gonna be on and yell on the track and not say words that people can understand. You know what I'm saying? To have this look, because yeah, get your dirty ass somewhere and sit down.
You're right. So speaking of dudes talking too much on a podcast, Young Berg sat down on Drink Champs and decided to, be a chatty patty and run his mouth about Notori Nottin', who again is somebody who doesn't bother anybody, but yet for some reason everybody be having her name in their mouth, man. But nonetheless, Berg decided to go on the show, talk about supposedly how he slept with her and this, that, and the other. Just utterly disgusting. Chatty patty to the full extent. But anywho, what is your thoughts?
Definitely trash. And I just don't understand how he used to get beat up and then you on this podcast. Like, go find your chains that somebody stole from you when you used to get your ass whooped when you were young bird. Now you hitmaker or whatever. But I didn't understand the reason for saying that. And then he was like, basically his comment was saying that he had sex with her and she was the first girl that had an IUD. I'm like, first of all, you didn't touch her IUD. So let's just get that out the way. No way, you didn't.
Fact.
It was just, to me, it was like, you know how like you boys used to talk in like 7th grade in the locker room, be like, hey, this, and then it gave me that vibe, and I'm like, what relevance did this have? Like, did you just bring her up because you wanted to be like, oh, I had sex with her? Like, I don't know, but shout out to her for using protection with his ugly ass and keeping herself protected at all times.
If it's even any truth to it, shit. If it's even any truth to it, because he could be lying on his dick for all we know.
That is true. But it was like he was saying this to be like, oh, I touched her. How you did? I feel you did.
You absolutely did. You did. You did.
Find you somebody else to play with.
I don't believe you. You need more.
And not from what we've heard about you, that
it ain't it. It's not
right.
It. Oh man. So speaking of more trashness that went on, I saw this pop up today, and I know you saw it as well. A gospel singer. What's his name? I'm not sure.
His name is Darrell Walls.
Okay. He was outed by one of his close friends, I read two different things. I read that a close friend outed him, and then I also read someone said that his actual partner outed him. So
Ooh.
I don't know, but the way the story goes is that on Instagram or on IG they have that little new thing where I guess where you can choose to only show your stories to your close friends, and apparently he had chose to only show that story to his close friends, and either one of them or his partner or whoever, somebody in that list decided to give it to a blog and outed him.
Yeah. The only I read that he shared it with his close friends and somebody outed him, which I feel like that's just terrible. Like, let people come out on their own time. And I even think if it's if you're dealing with somebody on a romantic level, it's still for that person to come out and out themselves. It's nothing that you doing or helping trying to push them along. Like if you know they are not comfortable with it being out, you have a choice to make. Either you move on or you don't. I mean, you move on or you accept that, hey, they're not ready for that.
Right. I absolutely agree with you. Like, to me, one of the worst things that you can do is to out somebody. Like, I've never understood the concept of that, why you would do that. Especially in that type of setting, we all know, how the church is, how gospel music is, how that whole crowd isn't the most accepting. So to go that low as to out him before he was ready, it's just another example of just things that bug me. Like I said, I just can't. To me, one of the lowest things you can do is to out somebody. I don't grasp it in my mind. Like, I don't understand why you would do that to someone.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, he has to be ready for that. And that doesn't help him. And I think like people think like, oh, this will help him along the way. That doesn't help him. That hurts him because I mean, what if he's figuring it out? And it doesn't seem like from the story that I read that he's down low. It's just he didn't want nobody to know yet. And I can understand, especially being a gospel artist and being heavy in the church. It's like, yeah,
Just
people
wasn't
not
ready yet.
right.
He did in that crowd. Like you said, in the church is not the most accepting of the homosexual lifestyle. So it's just, like you said, I can understand why he wanted to, keep that just for his close knit group of people. So for you to quote unquote be a close knit person to him and feel like this needs to be out to the world, I hope whatever little coins you got was worth that. You know what I mean? If the blog even paid you for it, because
I was just gonna say probably didn't pay them. They're just being messy.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I said, I just feel like that's a super low. You have to be a super low person to go to out somebody. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. But I wish him the best. I know they said he deleted his Instagram. So yeah. It's just horrible.
Yeah. Hopefully he sees all the outpouring and sees all the people who are still supporting him and showing him love, and that he's able to get through it, because it's tough when you don't get to come out on your own terms.
Yeah. And I saw like on Spiritual World where they made a post about it. And it was so many people that like were coming and saying how they were outed by different people and they weren't ready to say anything or they weren't even sure themselves. And I'm like, that's just sad.
Yeah, absolutely sad. Low. Just like I said, it's just low. You have to be, a really effed up type of person to do it, in my opinion. But I wish all the best for him. No, absolutely. Do we want to talk about OnlyFans and how it seems to be the new wave? I guess every celeb and their mama is jumping on OnlyFans.
Definitely. I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I know Michael B. Jordan. He said he was going on there. Of course, Chris Brown. And I think Trey Songz, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. I just hate it because I'm like, listen, this was a come up for a lot of people, especially during this pandemic. While there's a lot of stuff going on, people losing their employment. Get y'all weak ass off of OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's my thing with a lot of these type of situations or whatever like that. Whether it be OnlyFans, YouTube, podcasting, just all these different avenues that are supposed to be avenues for the average Joe to kind of make a little extra money, make a little side hustle, a little, some passive income. It's like you have all these celebrities kind of hopping on the train and hopping. It's like, damn, there's enough money, in the world for everybody. Y'all already got some of the bigger lanes of money. Can y'all save a little bit for us?
Listen,
just a little bit. Like, damn, can we have something?
And I know, like, Michael B. Jordan was like, "Oh, I'm donating it for a barber school." Just open the motherfucker, like, get a grant, but don't come and ruin these people fucking hustle. Like, to me, that's just like you said, we can't have nothing. Let regular people make their fucking money. Like, you get movies and all of this shit. Like, spend that money.
Basically. But I hate the fact that they took it to OnlyFans, just because OnlyFans, you know, I know a lot of people look down on sex work, and they look down on sex workers, whatever like that, and they don't see it as honest work. But honestly, I think sex work is honest work. I think somebody has to do it. And if you are willing to do it, you want to do it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Make your money how you make your money. But I just feel like that was really an easier, safer platform for sex workers to use. And now that you have all these celebrities kind of driving more and more attention to OnlyFans, you have the people who, you know, who are behind OnlyFans. They are slowly but surely kind of booting off sex workers and kind of removing them from the site. So that's taking away from their income, as well as, like I said, taking away from safe, you know, a safety measure that they had that they don't always have. Because, like I said, a lot of people don't respect sex work. They don't think that sex workers will treat sex workers as human beings. They don't think that sex workers deserve, you know, the you know, to have any type of laws or protections behind them. So, you know, OnlyFans was really a way for them to at least be able to do what they do and do it safely. And like I said, now you have all these celebrities going there, and it's like, okay, now what are we supposed to do?
Right. And then I think it even sets, like, I don't care how this sounds, but when you think about, like, celebrities getting on there and bringing a platform, money, and I ain't even showing nothing, where you got somebody else, like, you know, busting it wide open, which, if that's what you want to view, that's what you want to view. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But they like, okay, we can make money. And then now, like you said, drive people off, like, there's no nudity.
Right.
And be like, what's your point? Like, and not even saying that, because I think the biggest account that I've known, one of the biggest accounts on OnlyFans was actually an exercise, like, guru.
Right.
So it's not like people that are showing nudity or doing sex work is, like, you know, one of the biggest accounts. But shit, Black China on there popping though, because she one of the biggest ones. But I don't know. To me, it's like, if you want to do a fundraiser, because that's what the fuck you doing. If you opening up a barbershop, if you want to fundraise, do this shit somewhere else. Get you a GoFundMe account, crowdfund or something. Not OnlyFans.
Yeah, do it on IG. Shit, y'all have enough
Right.
followers on IG. You could do it on IG.
True.
So, or do it on Facebook. Shit, a lot of them have Facebook accounts now, or on TikTok. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just feel like there are certain. It's like a lot of us regular folks, especially during this pandemic, have had to really try to buckle down and find extra ways to kind of make passive income, and you know, second and third and fourth streams of income, in order to really just stay afloat and survive. And the more and more that you have these celebrities kind of throw their hat in the ring, it's like, damn, give the regular folks a shot. Like, give us a chance to really to make a living. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's like, I mean, like I said, I know I take it back to podcasting, because that's the, you know, the realm that we're in. It's like, you know, every other day now I see some new celebrity who is starting a podcast or jumping in the podcast game, and it's like, damn, can we get? It's hard enough to find sponsorships without y'all jumping in, and naturally, because y'all already have a fan base, so they're gonna tune in. And so all the sponsors are going to be like, well, let me run to you. Like, shit.
Right.
Can I get a little too, please? Damn.
Like,
We shall see what kind of comes of that. I feel like there are so many other, like I said, so many other avenues and platforms. We'll see what happens. You know, I've seen, like I said, I've seen a lot of OnlyFans. I've seen a lot of celebrities getting YouTube accounts now. Pretty soon, we'll probably start seeing YouTubers start to complain as well, because their money's going to be impacted by that as well. The more you have celebrities kind of jump on there and drive traffic their way, so we shall see.
Yeah, leave us alone.
Basically, I can't wait till y'all can go back to doing shows. Damn.
Movies or something. Be too busy. Shit.
Okay, so I feel like we have one last topic. It is Lori Harvey. He was spotted out with Michael B. Jordan right before Thanksgiving. They were spotted landing in Atlanta together. So, of course, naturally, the rumors have started to fly that the two of them may be coupled up, booed up, whatever. I mean, that's all I can say with that. I feel like the bigger story about that I saw come out of that whole situation is the conversation about Lori Harvey in general. I saw like a lot of like Twitter kind of debates and like social media debates and things like that, where they were saying that, where they were trying to say that women over 30 have kind of made Lori Harvey like their goals, or their shero, because she is out here dating every this, that and the other or whatnot. And I have thoughts on it, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
Listen, I ain't mad at her. Her mama is from Memphis, so she got the game. Honestly, I ain't gonna say she like my shero. I am thankful that she got out of this shit with Future without a baby. And yeah, I mean, I don't feel a certain way about her. She should date around. I'm like, she not fucking married. She technically ain't in no relationship. She ain't got no kids. She young. She's beautiful. Shit, do you?
So here are my thoughts, right? So my thoughts are more on the whole situation of where they're trying to pin this whole, say that women over 30 are looking at her like goals and stuff like that. And to me, that was just kind of justification of what I've always thought, is that like Twitter folks and like social media folks and like all these people who go viral and stuff like that is really high key squares. Because in real life, I don't know no girls who didn't have no roster. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when they were single and they like, most of my friends now are like married or in committed relate, whatever like that. But like, and as the only single friend, I still got me a fucking roster. But so I'm just trying to understand, like, where is this coming from, or where like everybody is so impressed by Lori Harvey dating? I mean, that's what the fuck when you single, that's what the fuck you supposed to do. Like, I don't. Like, that's why I say I feel like a lot of y'all have to, like, these Twitter folks and all that stuff, they gotta be squares. Because there's nothing impressive about dating. That's when you're single, you're supposed to date.
Right.
So, like, I don't, it is what it is, I guess. You know what I mean? I guess maybe they are impressed by the caliber of dudes that she pulls. But at the same time, I look at it as like, she's a pretty girl and she got money. So she automatically benefits from being pretty. That's number one. And then two, the social circle that she's in, because she has money, naturally, you know what I'm saying? She gonna attract those type of dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it goes back to, because I see it a lot, and I see a lot of people sharing it, even people around like my age, or even when I was younger, where people applaud people for being loyal to people doing talking and dating phases, and be like, I never operated like that. If we talking or just dating and it's not exclusive, then guess what? I'm talking and dating other people.
Big facts.
So I definitely think that, right, as you should, because I'm like, I was never the type to put my eggs in one basket. If I definitely, like, that's what I definitely think, that something's supposed to be exclusive, and be like, nah, I'm not. If you ain't exclusive with me, I ain't exclusive with you. And like you said, she got her dating circle is different, so of course she's gonna, pull a different caliber of dude.
That's all we have for Hot Topics. let's go ahead and jump into the relationship portion of the show.
Okay.
So last week we touched on the DeadAss podcast and the monogamy episode or whatnot. We both said that we were going to go back and listen to the full episode and then come back with our thoughts this week. So let's kick off the relationship portion with, let's first give like a little recap from their episode of their podcast and then give thoughts.
Okay. So the podcast, of course, is DeadAss Podcast with Kadeen and DeVal. And basically it was talking about monogamy and why do women push for exclusivity and monogamy and they're not ready to meet those needs. And basically DeVal was saying that, you know, he has sexual needs and men have sexual needs that women can't fulfill, but they push for monogamy first, or they push to be exclusive first. And why is that? And I guess, you know, we'll just break down our take on it and what we got from it.
Okay. Do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So I listened to obviously I heard the buzz clips and then I went back and I listened to the full episode today. So from what I understood, after he talked about how he asked her about why did you push me into marriage and monogamy if you know, weren't going to be able to meet my sexual needs and all of that jazz. Basically, his biggest takeaway or his biggest point was that it's selfish of any person to require exclusivity or monogamy if they aren't able to meet, you know, to demand that from a partner if they aren't able to kind of meet their partner sexually, you know, their sexual needs and all that jazz. I did after listening to the full episode, it's not that I still have issues with a lot of what he said, but I kind of got it from their perspective, I guess, because of just how their relationship goes. I still have a lot of issues, a lot of questions, but it's not before it was kind of like I had a lot of issues with him, but I kind of have issues with the both of them in the sense that I feel like she caved a lot in the conversation. She didn't push back enough on certain things. But two, like she said that they basically the timeline of their relationship was they dated for about 7 or 8 years. Then they got engaged. And then after getting engaged, they only stayed engaged for like a year and then got married. She said, and obviously they did that fairly young because they're only in their 30s. She said that a lot of it came with society pressures and things like that, saying that you should be married by a certain time, have kids by a certain age, blah, 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 blah. And now knowing, you know, what they know, she feels like they should, you know, maybe they should have waited and whatever. But one of my takeaways or one of the things that I had questions about was if you guys dated for 7 to 8 years, what the fuck did y'all talk about? Because a lot of the issues or the things that y'all are talking about as far as sex wise, I feel like should have came up during that 7 to 8 years of y'all being together. And another big thing that, because we always since the beginning of our show, one of the first relationship topics we talked about was love language and how important it is. And it just seems to me, in listening to their conversation, I don't know if you guys remember the Blackish episodes where Dre and Bo were going through their situation where it was almost looking like they were going to get divorced. And it was because the two of them didn't understand each other's love language. And I feel like with those two, it's the same thing. Like it sounds like they have two separate, different, you know, love languages, different ideas of love and, you know, the ways to show that. And it feels like they haven't communicated that or talked about that within their relationship. I also feel like when it comes to, I feel like he tries to I give him credit because he tries to be understanding about, her not wanting sex as often or having a different sex drive. But at the same time, I feel like he I guess his biggest excuse is that, that he wasn't taught that and she wasn't taught that about monogamy and yada, yada, yada. But my thing is, you're taught about the opposite sex though. So that women's bodies go through different things, especially after childbirth, that their sex drive is tied a lot to, their emotional well-being, stresses. So there was a lot of issues that I took out of both of them, because I just feel like I said, I feel like she made a lot of excuses for him and she kind of didn't push hard enough on certain things. She fully kind of was just like, yeah, my sex drive is low and I know he wants sex all the time and I got to do better on that. But I feel like he also has to do better too in understanding that, hey, she had 3 babies and her sex drive just isn't what it used to be. And you got to work around that. And he also says he doesn't like to please himself. He doesn't do masturbation. He's not even attempting to kind of, I don't know, in my opinion, find other ways.
Yeah.
So I just feel like a part of me feels like he really wanted to say, you should let me be able to sleep with other women, but who am I? What about you?
I remember I said the same thing like a couple weeks ago. I was like, she ain't go hard for herself. Like, I understand like that's your mate. You don't want to be like super combative and all of that stuff, but no, you're not finna throw me under the bus and roll over, about a situation that, to me, I feel like sex is a big part of a relationship. But at the same time, she's a mom, and he was like, well, the first beginning of the pocket. Well, I'm not gonna say the first beginning, but the middle, he wanted what they had in college. And I remember from there, he was saying that, it wasn't that they had sex a lot, but they were also away from each other a lot. That makes a big difference when I'm away from you, even for a week. And be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see him. You got all of this, excitement build up. You got energy. So it's different. And be like, and then we stand in the house together. It's just like, you become routine, and not even so much if you're aware that, okay, I don't want routine. I'm not scheduling sex, but just everyday life is just like, bro, I'm tired. And then when you start adding kids into the mix, and like, not even, well, to bring up now, like, of course I have a child and he's just a newborn and I get touched out. Like, stop touching me. Between him touching and then you want to come to, stop touching me.
Right.
And then when you think about pregnancy, and for Kadeen, she was pregnant, I think 3 years back to back.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you think about pregnancy and the toll that it takes on your body, and I'm lugging around a whole human being, all the equipment that comes with it, and you literally get 20, 30 extra pounds on you. I don't want to have sex during my 3rd trimester. Like, I hated this shit, and I'm like, just being completely transparent. I sent my friend a message when I was like, I can't wait to have this baby so I don't have to have sex again. Like, that's just how I was over it. And he thought, oh my gosh, you glowing and you so full and you look so pretty. And I'm like, my pelvic hurt. My vagina hurts. I'm tired. I'm uncomfortable. I have tossed and turned all night long. Leave me alone.
Right.
So my mind wasn't in the game for it. Whereas, he was just ready to like, oh my, I just think you just leave. No.
Right.
So I definitely, not even just, of course I'm a woman, so I do see things from her perspective. And I would even agree with him if, I just, like you said, I just found it was problematic for me, because he was just like, well, again, it was like, you pushed me. She didn't push you. She gave you what she wanted. If you wanted to rise to the occasion, you knew what you were getting out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I think that goes for a lot of women. I'm like, and even when it comes down to men, I'm like, y'all sex drive don't be that banging either.
Fact.
Because if y'all had a hard day at work or something, I'm just not in the mood, blah, blah, blah. And you're not always around when I'm in the mood. Because I can be in the mood 2 p.m. at work. Then what?
Facts.
So,
But
yeah.
I definitely feel like with their timeline, it wasn't like they had a short timeline. That's the thing
Yeah.
for me. Like if at any when he says that you push me into this, are you how, bruh? If y'all was dating for 7 to 8 years, like shit, when she said that, I said,
Yep.
what is this nigga complaining about? You got a good 10 years of cis life. Like
Yep.
before she even asked you to marry her. Like before she put her foot down. So like you got more out of her than you would have got out of me. Like, I'm
And
just being honest.
I don't know if you watched them on Black Love, but they were together, I think, from like very like their first year of college or whatever. He always like referenced like, well, I didn't have a chance to sow my wild oats. But this is what you chose. Like I didn't get every time he kept was like, well, yeah, you did kind of pressure me. I didn't get pressure. Again, you had that choice. She didn't to be like, you know what, we can walk away.
Yeah.
We can and like she said in there, like we can reevaluate what we both want. But you knew men are not stupid. Like they're not stupid. He knew what he was getting and he didn't want to let that go. So if you don't want to let me go, then listen, this is what I want from you. And I'm like, a lot of times men, especially younger men, want to play around until they like, okay, and put you on a shelf. And she wasn't willing to be put on a shelf until you ready to come back and pick me up.
I
So
definitely, and I will say I do think that in the part of the episode where he says that the only reason that he is married is because he wanted a legacy, I feel like that was kept. And the reason I say that is just because if all you wanted was babies, to quote unquote have your legacy, you could have did that with anybody. You wouldn't have stuck out all of those years with her. You wouldn't have have a monogamous relationship for her, because it clearly, just from the way he talks, it don't sound like that monogamy is something that he wants. You know what I mean? Like I said, it seems to me more like if she gave him the option and said, hey, okay, you can step out, he would. That's how I, just from listening to them talk, that's how it sounded to, like if she said tomorrow, okay, I don't want to have sex all the time, so I'm okay with you sleeping with this girl, that girl, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the rules for her would be behind it, I feel like he would do it in a heartbeat, and that would be that.
definitely. Like that, I definitely agree. And I agree with that even on, like I said, they were on Black Love and he touched on it as well. And I was like, like I said, I like them, but definitely just like listening, it's like, oh, well, I didn't get to sow my. I mean, that's not a phase that you have to have, which is weird because I'm like, y'all always knock women for having whole face. But anywho, that's not a phase that you have to have. But I don't, like I said, even just so looking at them, and I know, looking at their blogs and all that, you only see a small glimpse of their life. But I'm like, she's the default parent.
Mm-hmm.
So even when you think about like, oh, well, we're away for the children, when they told the story, the opening where he was like, oh, she told me we was gonna have sex and blah blah. Listen, whatever commitment I made at 7 o'clock that morning, my energy when it comes down to 6 p.m., it's gone.
Facts.
So, whatever. Yeah, and I think he places sex almost like over the marriage part.
I
Like,
feel like, because he did say sex is his number one. He said it's not his only thing, but it's his number one thing. And for me, I feel like And he tried to say that that's all men, and I just don't think that that's all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those girls that like sex is low on the totem pole now, because I think sex is high up on the list. It's high up on the list. And I think we've both said that on, on the show previous times where we said that we feel like if, the sexual chemistry isn't there, or you don't have sexual chemistry, that a relationship can't work. But I just, so it's definitely high on the list, but I just feel like it ain't like the number one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For your issue. Well, it shouldn't be the number one reason that you know what I'm saying, for your relationship, or that you in your relationship. Like, there should be more things to, and that's why I feel like some of the things that he was saying was just for the controversy of all that, it was capped. Because I just feel like, because there were parts where you could hear him say, you're my best friend, you're my partner, and and he would say things like that makes you, and he's like, sometimes it's just the way that you look at me, and it's your essence and stuff like that. So that makes you feel like, yeah, I really feel like you just saying some of this to, for the controversy of it all. But then there are parts of it that I do feel like is truth. Like I said, I definitely get from him that if she would allow it, he wouldn't do the monogamy thing.
Yeah. I definitely, and I was like, I didn't want to say it, but that I definitely do agree with it. If she was like, hey, I give you Saturday night and you do you, then he would definitely be like, okay, that's cool. And when I text you earlier, I was like, yeah, I'm still kind of mad at this one.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, I watched it again and I was like, yeah, I ain't feel no different than I felt last time. I was like, I didn't like that. And I was like, it's almost like he doesn't give her the grace of like, hey, I am a parent, I am a wife. And no matter how much you want to think about it, she probably carries most of the household even before, being a parent. Like, I have to tell my husband, like, I don't want to plan every date night.
Right.
Or, hey, here's the money, you go out and buy. No, you go out and buy. If you got the money, you got the car, you got a whole smartphone, we got iPads, laptops, get on there and buy it.
Right.
So it's just certain stuff like that I'm like, and again, 3 kids, and then you had 3 boys. So, like, people be saying that, go to hell respectfully.
And I just hate this whole ideal that men try, because I'm telling you, it's like this whole alpha male thing where they try to build up like they just have the sexual prowess of everything. Like, science has shown that that's false. That's false, sir. That y'all best years is y'all 20s, and after that, y'all steadily start to decline. For women, as we get older, our sex drives get better. So y'all gotta chill with the bullshit. Like, I'm sorry. Science says that's a lie, sir. And if you do have a sex drive like that, you claim to have, guaranteed, you're not going for that long. I'm just being honest. Honest. You giving her maybe a good 10. And then the rest is just mediocre.
Right. You almost tapped out doing foreplay. Get some shit up. Like, that's why I'm be understand. Like, and then some dudes that had comments. I'm like, even like I saw a couple of dudes on my timeline. I'm like, bro, you got issues with high blood pressure. I seen you post about it. You ain't doing shit. For a fact. Because I know that high blood pressure take everything away from your ass. You ain't doing shit. Nothing.
But I do appreciate the fact that he said that he's willing to do, different things in order to kind of please her. Whether it was when she asked to use a vibrator or different things like that. And some dudes just are completely against those type of things. But the fact that he's willing to kind of go the distance in order to kind of get her there and to please her, I definitely can be appreciative of that. I will say that I feel like he obviously doesn't communicate enough to her about some of the things that he likes with sex, because I heard him say that, he wants her to kind of be a little bit more fancy with it, and like since she don't want to have sex all the time, he want her to kind of dress up and all this stuff like that. And I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with if that's what you like and that's what you want. But I feel like you have to communicate that more to her, because for her, she's just like, shit, if I'm in the mood, let's just get it and be spontaneous with it. But if you want more of a production with it, then, you know, be
I gotta play this out.
I want a production out of it. So then she know, okay, I got to actually plan.
Right. I need an outfit. It's probably gonna need a babysitter. I need to get my hair done. See, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot of that too, they may honestly benefit from like a sex therapist.
Yeah.
You know, because it seems like their issues they don't have like a bad connection in that area. I just feel like maybe they need to work more like communication, work on different types of intimacy as well, because sex isn't the only type of intimacy that you can have, you know. So I feel like maybe, like I said, I feel like they would benefit from a sex therapist.
I agree. Yeah, I just keep them lifted because I know it's hard out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
And he said he want more kids. Ooh.
And see, that's my issue. He was like when I watch like they blogs and stuff, he was like, I want a girl. Shit. Not all because I tell my husband, this it. Ain't nothing else coming back through here. Where he need a sibling. He won't get one from me.
Shit. If I was her, I mean, they have the money. If he really serious, they have the money that, okay, well, we're going to have to go ahead and put up this 40, 50 grand for a surrogate because I'm not toting another baby. I could understand 3 shit. Close for business.
Man. Ooh. And I understand now, like, I know this off topic why women get surrogates. I'm not doing this shit. Especially when you get older. Pregnancy is taxing like fuck. I'm not doing this shit.
At all, baby. Oh, putting my money away right now. Okay. So we do have some other relationship questions, but we are about an hour, well, a little over an hour into the show. So instead, we're going to save the rest of our relationship questions for next week. But we do want to hear from you guys on this topic about monogamy. We'll post, even though we are super lazy and we do not take as much time as we should on our Instagram, we will post to Instagram this question about sex and monogamy and marriage and relationships and all that jazz. Kind of get you guys' thoughts. We do want to hear from you, so you can hit us. Send us an email at prettynerdspodcast@gmail.com. If you go on the website, prettynerdspodcast.com, there's a little link that you can click on. It'll take you right to, so you can shoot us an email with your questions, your responses, whatever. And we may feature you guys on the show. So let's go ahead and kind of wrap things up. New music, books, TV, anything you just want to share with the people?
Nothing new for me. Yeah, nothing new.
The only thing on my side as far as that is concerned is that I have started the television show You. I've seen everybody always raving about it. So I decided to finally check it out. When it first aired on Lifetime, like the first season or whatever like that, it didn't seem interesting to me, and it still didn't seem interesting to me, but all y'all been raving about it. So I'm checking it out. So far I'm almost through the first season, and it's been rough for me. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, Penn Badgley's little monotone ass voice through the whole episodes. Like, Beck, I love you, and you can do this. Like, shit. I don't know how y'all do this, because like it's making me want to go to sleep. Like, his voice put me to sleep high key, but from what I understand, it's supposed to pick up and it's supposed to get better. So I'm gonna give it, another. I'm gonna watch it through the end. So we shall see and see how it goes.
If you haven't got it now, then it's just not for you.
Oh.
Like, I mean, it wasn't my top, series or anything like that. I did watch it, but I just really feel like just watching it, be like, if you don't, it's just not
Ain't gonna
gonna
happen.
get, yeah, it ain't gonna get better because it's still like the same damn thing. You just add more people to it, but yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Like I said, I just don't get what I guess I just don't get what the hype is about it.
yeah. I guess for me, I was like, this shit is foolish as fuck. And I'm like, why the fuck he ain't got caught? Like, you should be caught by now.
Cause he's high key sloppy.
Yeah.
He's
Very
he's very sloppy for like a psychopath killer. He's sloppy as fuck. Like I that's another thing that's just unrealistic to me because I'm like, he ain't even a good stalker. Like the couple of times, like when she caught him at the little fair following her, if it was me, I'm like, the fuck is you doing here? Like you stalking me? You know what I'm saying? But she just was like, oh yeah, that's right. You do own books, so naturally you'd be here. No, sis, like this is not normal. Like so I don't know. It's just one of those things for me, but I don't know.
Yeah,
We shall see. Aside from that, I have seen some people talk about on Hulu, they're streaming the show A Teacher that normally comes on, I think it's Fox or the same channel that Pose comes on. I can't remember. FX or whatnot. So it's a show called A Teacher where it's supposed to be about a teacher who has an affair with her 17-year-old student. And so people are talking about that one, obviously. I haven't really wanted to check it out because shows like that gross me out. But but people claim it's really good. So, and usually FX, their shows are really good. Like I said, I loved Pose. I loved where they did little mini series about Versace. They tend to do really good shows, so I may check it out just off of the strength of that.
I need to look. I saw it and I always pass over it because it's like in my For You shows.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know. We'll see. I'll let y'all know if I decide to check. But aside from that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the nerd moment really quickly. This week's nerd moment of the week is just a couple of quick little blurbs of things out there that I've seen pop up on the timeline. Black Panther 2 is scheduled to begin shooting in July of 2021. So obviously, for those of y'all who were wondering what are they going to do after the passing of Chadwick Boseman, obviously they still are making Black Panther 2. From all kind of sources and things that I've seen, they are going to follow the comic books, and Shuri will become the new Black Panther. So we can look forward to that. And I anticipate that they will do, as far as the way that they're going to write out Chadwick Boseman, that they will do justice to his character. Like, I fully anticipate that, so I'm not really worried about that in any aspect, especially if Ryan Coogler does come back to direct, which I feel like there are all arrows are pointing that he will be back to direct. Also, sad news, Black Lightning at the end of their fourth season, which will air next year, 2021, it's going to be coming to the end. The show has officially been canceled. So the fourth season will be its last season. I told you guys last week that they're going to be doing a backdoor episode for a possible spinoff for Painkiller. So hopefully that gets picked up. You never know. Depends on how the backdoor episode does. But it's a wait and see on that, because we saw with Green Arrow in the Canaries when they did the back episode for that they haven't got the pickup. So we shall see what happens there. Also, for those of you out there who were trying to get the PS5 or the Xbox, unfortunately, if you haven't secured one, the chances of getting one are pretty slim. They said that, unfortunately, scalpers, they've been using those little bots that they use for like tickets and on like all the ticket websites and things like that when those big shows and concerts occur. So they've been using those little bots to pre-order and order up all the little Xboxes and PS5. So if you haven't got yours, you might not get one. Chances are really slim for you. Hopefully, maybe you can find one in stock at a store. But if you were hoping to kind of order one offline or anything like that, if you didn't get your pre-order in, chances are you ain't getting one. So don't get your hopes up. And outside of that, on DC tie-ins, they revealed Starfire's official costume was revealed, and it's dope. Per usual, DC tie-ins, the one thing they do well is their super suits, and her super suit is no exception. It looks amazing. Love to see it. And that's it for me as far as the nerd moment of the week. And that's it for me as far as the show. Anything else on your end, Falan?
No, ma'am, that is all.
All right. So per usual, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. And we hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Good night, guys.
Good night.